Alright guys, welcome back into another PGA DFS video. This week we got the Byron, the AT&T Byron Nelson, which has actually only been played here at this course just last year. So for course history, it's going to be a little bit different this week. We're going to be looking at 2018, but we're going to be looking at those guys that, are good stat fits that made the cut last year. So Aaron Wise, Hideki, Keith Mitchell, Russell Knox, Rory Sabatini, Matt Jones, and Brian Gay. Those are all guys who actually made sense that they made the cut and had a really good week last year at this course. For key stats, we're going to be looking at birdie or better percentage, strokes gained approach, strokes gained off the tee, greens and regulation, but we're always going to be looking at total driving and ball striking as well. Some guys that are in some good core form as well are going to be Hideki. He's just been playing really well this whole season. Rory Sabatini's been playing well. Scotty there, he is a Web.com tour player that's actually been doing really well. Matt Jones and Nick Taylor are all guys that are running into some good form. As you guys know, we had a really good week last week. Cashed again, 2 straight weeks. And, we just continue to dominate and we continue to cash. I told you guys last week that with the stats that we were using, we'd be able to gain an edge on the field. And I know we definitely did that because it was one of my best weeks overall in PGA DFS. And I saw some other green screens come in from some of the Patreon subscribers. So I'm glad we had a good week last week. Let's continue that this week and let's get into the plays. So we can start off with the top end here with someone like Brooks Koepka. So Brooks Koepka is an interesting play because for some reason, right before a major, his mindset just isn't always into it. So with that, we kind of got to worry about that. But this is kind of the same course feel-wise as when he won the U.S. Open on his first major. So I do like him, but I think I'd just rather go with Hideki, who has made 19 straight cuts. He's actually the best stat fit in the field. Last year at this course, he had a T16. And, this is going to be a good scoring course. That's why we're looking at birdie or better percentage. And he was 52nd in that. Jordan Spieth, I don't think I want to go with him. I'm just kind of worried about his current form. It's not the best. We could roll with him if we want to. Kind of same thing with Henrik Stenson. Yes, he's made 5 straight cuts, but they kind of been grinding out. So I'm kind of worried about Stenson. Mark Leishman, you can go with if you want to. He got second here last year. He's 23rd in birdie or better percentage. He's also 16th in strokes gained approach. But I'm just not feeling it. He's not in the best recent form. Patrick Reed, I'm not going to roll with. I do think we could play Sungjae Im, though. At this price, it's all right. He didn't play here last year, but he is a top 10 staffer according to my model. He had a good week last week. And, he's 21st in par 5 scoring, top 30 in birdie or better percentage, strokes gained off the tee, strokes gained total driving, ball striking, and he's top 55 in ball striking. So he's checking all the boxes stat-wise. I do wish he would have some course history, but obviously he's a rookie this year, so he can't. So Aaron Wise, he was the winner at this course last year. He's 11th in birdie or better percentage. He's 19th in strokes gained off the tee. He's top 30 in both total driving and ball striking. He's also top 50 in that par 5 scoring. So he has been playing some really good golf recently. I do think we can definitely fit him into our builds. Him and Keith Mitchell, they're pretty much the same plays. They're not exactly cash plays, but this week they might have to be. There are definitely some really great GPP options. I could see Keith Mitchell going out and dominating. He's one of the better stat fits this week as well. He's a top 10 stat fit. He also finished T3 here last year, so obviously it's a good course that fits him. Ryan Moore, I kind of sneakily like. He's made 9 out of 13 cuts this year, including the last 2. He's T60 in par 5 scoring. He's pretty much T60 or better in every stat that we're looking at this week. So he's not a dominant stat fit because none of them are excellent. His best one is proximity, and that's 23rd. But he's not a horrible fit overall. But Rafa Cabrera-Bello here, world-class player. I do like Rafa. He's only missed 2 cuts this year. He's 34th in birdie or better percentage, 30th in strokes gained off the tee. His total driving, ball striking, and total putting haven't exactly been there this year, but this is a course where he can get away with it. And if he gets hot, he could definitely go off and easily get a top 10 finish. Scott Piercy, I like him again this week. This is seems like an easy plug and play. Yes, he's priced up more than we like to pay up for him, but he has that course history. T32 here. He's a top 10 stat fit according to my model. You guys know this. Scott Piercy has been good this whole year, so obviously I'm going to go back to the well with him. That's kind of one of the strategies I do in PGA DFS. That's why I've been successful, is you don't fix what isn't broken. You keep playing them until they kind of hurt you, and that's going to happen sometime. Thomas Pieters, world-class player. I think that's a little bit too cheap for him. He doesn't get the name recognition as much, but I do like him as an option. Russell Knox, he had T16 here last year. He's a pretty decent stat fit. He's 22nd in strokes gained approach, and he is 2nd in proximity, so I do like that. But I think I would just rather go with Ryan Palmer, who's a little bit cheaper. Ryan Palmer did miss the cut here last year. He's missed 4 cuts this year, but he's 12th in birdie or better percentage, 11th in greens or regulation. He is top 64 in both ball striking and total driving, and also that par 5 scoring. Also touch on Scotty here. So he is a web.com tour player who has had 5 straight top 10 finishes on there. He is 2 for 2 out of cuts made on the PGA Tour. I do wish he was cheaper. I was hoping he would be a nice value option for us this week. Unfortunately, DraftKings was smarter than that, and they knew how to properly price him that this week. So we can't. I'll have some GPP ownership to him just because he has been playing well. I was kind of hoping I could include him maybe in a cash build, but that's not going to be an option this week at that price. Trey Mullinax and Abraham Answer, they're not going to be horrible options. They're more GPP options. Abraham Answer is just dominating the stat fit wise, but that just recent form isn't there, so I can't roll with him as much. I think I'd rather just drop down to Dylan Fratelli. Dylan Fratelli is kind of just a DraftKings scorer. He is top 24 in par 5 scoring. He's not the best stat fit, but given the fact that he's made 5 straight cuts, I do like him as an option. But once again, we got Matt Jones here, so once again, I'm going to keep plugging and playing him. He's doing well for me this year. 9 straight made cuts. He had T13 at this course here last year. He is 25th in greens and regulation, 47th in proximity. He is top 75 in total driving, ball striking, and also putting. He is tied for 32nd in par 5 scoring as well. So he is checking all the boxes for me. Top 20 stat fit. So I do like Matt Jones. Brian Gay I want to bring some attention to because he was higher priced on Yahoo. I was kind of surprised at his price on DraftKings. I thought it would be a little bit higher just because it's kind of weird to see that much discrepancy between the two. And he's only missed 2 cuts this year. So he might be an interesting GPP option, maybe more of a 10% type of play. Andrew Landry, kind of the same thing. I don't love him, but I definitely do see him making the cut. He's made 3 straight cuts here as well. He's kind of a longer hitter. He's top 60 in all the core stats that I like. Troy Merritt. Now, Troy Merritt, this is a really interesting one. So Troy Merritt, he is a top 5 stat fit this week. But the only thing with Troy Merritt is he's coming off of that injury. As you guys saw there, he had those 2 missed cuts in there. But other than that, he's been playing really well. So I do think he's finally over his injury. And if he is, that's a nice little edge that we can gain player pool-wise. He's going to be one of my favorite GPP options this week. And he also did finish T53 here last year. He's just checking all the boxes stat-wise. So I do like him. Adam Schenk, I do worry about his ownership here, because he was kind of a popular value option last week, but I do think he's kind of going to be a plug and play. I'm going to touch on him in a little bit here. The other DJ here. So I was worried about him when he started playing some of those tougher courses where he couldn't score as much, but he is one of the better stat fits in this field as well. Top 10 according to my model. He did miss the cut here last year, but like I said, he is one of the better stat fits in this field. Going to be a decent GPP option. Hopefully he can go out and score on this relatively easy course this year. Going down a little bit lower, we do have some nice value options here. Let me pull them up here. So Hank Lebioda, I'm kind of surprised by his price as well because he's made 6 straight cuts now. He's 43rd in birdie or better percentage, top 60 in proximity, greens and regulation, total driving, ball striking, and also par 5 scoring. So he's just going to be a great option. I think he's going to be a popular option this week as well. Dominic Bazzelli, I just can't play him this week. I know I've played him quite a bit this year. I'm going to be jumping off there with him. We could go a little bit lower, though, with Nate Lashley, who was the lowest value play last week that we could play. And why? Because he's a good stat fit again this week. He's good off the tee. He's also, decent in strokes gained off the tee, strokes gained approach. He's not bad. Top 60 in par 5 scoring as well. Let's get into the core plays. So like I said with Hideki, he is checking all the boxes. He's in the best current form. He does have that course history, and he's just really great stat fit this week. So I do think if we can get up to Hideki, we do want to. The only worry with Hideki is he's kind of been grinding out these cuts. It's been a little bit of cut sweat with him, and then he just comes in and T30s it. So I do think we can expect a T30, but the confidence rating in him making the cut is the best out of anyone this week. Now the next play, let's get into it. That's going to be Scott Piercy. So he's made 4 straight cuts. He made the cut here last year. He's a top 10 stat fit this week. I do hate the price a little bit. I do wish he was under 8K. But with some of the missed prices a little bit lower, we can definitely just go ahead and get him into our player pool this week and get him into most of our lineups. Next play I already touched on. Matt Jones, just great form. He has that course history as well. I was a little bit surprised by this price, to be honest with you. The next two guys I'm going to touch on, I'm going to be surprised with their price as well. He seems like an easier play. He has a strong likelihood of making the cut. So, as you guys know, I like to play golfers that are easy to predict that if they're going to make the cut or not, and then kind of go from there. And that's what I like with Matt Jones this week. I do think it's easy to imagine him getting a T30 or better this week as well. So Adam Schenk, see this price is weird, and I do worry about his ownership because he had that really good week last week, and he was kind of a popular option last week, or he's getting talked up a lot. And now you get a second straight week where he's a really good stat fit, and his recent form isn't the best, but it does seem like this should be a course that he goes on and dominates. So I like him again as a strong option this week. Then the last one here, Hank Lebioda. Like I said, I was really surprised by his pricing. He's a top 15 stat fit. His recent form is great. And I just don't get this price, and I do think he'll be a really popular option as well. Those 5 are going to be my core plays. I actually had that one other one. If you guys stayed this long, I'm going to give you guys that. It's going to be Troy Merritt. I think he's going to be a great GPP option if his injury is not going to be a factor. Maybe that's something we check on Twitter right before, during their warm-ups, maybe on Wednesday when they go through their practice rounds. All right, that's all I have for you guys. Please give me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And as always, if you guys want to see our cash lineup, check it out. It's going to be on the Patreon page. We've been dominating this year. I know we've been doing probably the best out of anyone in the industry, so I would appreciate that. It's a $5 donation if you want to look at it that way. You still get our cash lineup, we get our GPP lineup, and you guys just get our player pool, top 20 plays as well. So check that out if you guys want to. If not, let's just keep cashing. Thanks.